Hey guys, welcome back. So even now we are back with another new bootcamp. So this kind of course or a limited edition videos where you can't find anywhere. So this is Virtuoso bootcamp, like a pro bootcamp where you can learn. Every video is all about projects, and projects. Only projects will be there. If you don't know basics, please wait for the basics videos to come and then you can come back here. But you can just code and learn the code what I'm typing over here, and I'll also teach you some basic coding in here. Not that basic, but yeah, what I'm using that I'll teach you. Okay, so our first project is gonna be password manager. So now our passwords are managed by some people manage their passwords by remembering, or some people may use personal securities provided by McAfee or etc. And some people may use third party applications. Okay, anyone can use anything, but let us have some common sense about password manager. See, if you remember the password, that's fine. But if you give it your personal security, that's more than enough. But if you use some third party applications, see, if data breach happens, you lose entire your world in online and internet, because your password holds your account and your account holds your information, and your information is more valuable than money out there, right? Maybe it kind of any password like OTT password or online shopping password, or some passwords for your office purposes or school purposes. Any kind of password, that is the key to open the door for your account. So we have to manage it. The major key that plays now, that is internet. So without internet we could have, we couldn't manage the this situation, right? So that's why password, the key manager. Now our first project is about opening the door, that is key password. So let's first see some bullshit password rules they give in online websites and OTTs. Okay. So the first rule is all, you know the rules, I no need to explain, but they are not that useful, right? So let me show you a website. He even wrote a comic about these dumb rules, and he explained it in a very funny way. I'll show that website, okay? So here I am at the website. So this is the coding horror website, and this very funny website. If you look at it, so your password must be 8 to 32 characters long and blah blah blah. Every rule is there over here. Let us pledge be duly noted on the permanent record of the internet. I don't know if there is a afterlife, but I'll be finding out soon enough. And I plan to go out mad as hell. So he even created a comic on that. If you understand this comic, that's more than enough. Okay, if you understand it, that's more than enough. I think you can't see it. Let me just zoom out. Okay, now you can see that. You can just visit to the website. The link will be given in the description. That's not an informative website, but yeah, okay. And now let's head to some the concept and let's learn that. So I said we'll be building a password manager app by Python. So let me just give you a finished output. The finished output may not be like that, but I've just represented on giving some animations to that. So the logo will be like that, and you have to enter your website URL where you are going to use this my password to generate your password or create your password. And you need to give your email or the username used in that account and the password, or you can generate it, and you can just click that add button, and that will be the password. The username will be going to your text file. So this guy is saying me about entering all my details and username and password to this app, but I think no one would do that, right? I am not telling you to enter that app which I am using. Okay, I am not the owner of the app and I did not create it. So each and individual person will be creating it and they'll be having their own apps in their own PCs. So this app will be created by you. The account, the passwords will be stored by your PC in a text secured file. Okay. So you will be creating this app. You won't be using the app which I have created. So first let's see something about what is a password manager. MyPass is a password manager and password generator that locks your passwords and your personal information in a secure vault. From your MyPass vault, you can store your passwords, log in, create online shopping profiles, generate strong passwords, track personal information in notes and more. Okay. You can also create a duplicate text file and store it in some another folder where no one can find it because for a spare. If you lost that main text file, you can go to that spare and you can again create a spare and keep that spare into another folder so that if you lost that, again you'll be having one more. So every time spare is important. So the UI user interface will be like you'll be asking to write your website first of all, and then email and username and password. There are two options in password. So you can create your own password like ABCD at the rate hashtag percentage 2 3 like that, or you can just generate the password and you can just click on add so that your password and username will be going to your text file. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, not for that. And next thing, let's move on to the VS Code, that is Visual Studio Code, and let's start our coding and let's start creating our app. So yeah, now let's get started with the coding. But before that, I will give you a folder which you have to download, and just keep that in your desktop. Okay, because we'll be needing it a lot. First, I'll be giving you a logo and I'll be giving you a PyCharm file with just these commands. That's it. A comments on the code. So in here you have to import everything, and in here we'll generate the password, and in here we'll save the password to a text file, and in here we'll first start with UI setup. So to start with UI setup, first let's create a window. Window is equal to TK. So yeah, I hope you are thinking me as a fool because I did not even import Tkinter. Yeah, now let me do that. From Tkinter, I'll import each and every class. Only that star symbol includes classes. That's it. So you won't import everything from Tkinter. And now let's name our title for the window we've created. So my title would be Password Manager. And the next thing we'll do is to configure it. I mean window dot config. We'll just align it like a pad X. So I'll be just showing you a pic about this alignment. So this is a very important code which we'll be giving in our this one, password manager. Pad Y would be 50. That's it. And now I think window need to be created. Okay, I did not close it with a loop. 1 second. I'll just insert the canvas also. So I'm just giving the height and width of the canvas So height would be 200 and width also would be 200. And the next thing, I am just assigning a variable like logo dot underscore image equal to photo image class. So this class will recognize that it's a photo. I hope file is equal to, I am just getting the file like logo dot png. The next thing we are going to do is to create that canvas dot create image. That image would be 100 and 100, the alignment, and the image would be logo underscore image. You don't have to mention underscores over here. Okay, there are two brackets. Yeah, you don't have to mention or underscore inverted commas because logo image is already assigned with a photo image, taking a logo file from logo.png. The next thing, I'm going to pack this canvas. So first we'll pack it. Afterwards, when every element comes, like input of email, website, password, when it comes, we'll go to grid layout. But for now, we'll just pack it and close it with a window dot main loop. That's it. I hope there are no errors. Okay. Yeah. Now let's run that. Yeah, our password manager window has been successfully created. So that was our first task. And the next thing I want you to take a look on here is, so these are my pass logo which I have given you from the PNG file. Okay. So but we've mentioned a height and width. So what if I decrease the height of the image? Okay. So let me just decrease that. And let's run that again. One second. The process is in the execution. Let's stop that. And now let's run that again. Yeah. The height has been decreased half. It became to half. Okay. 50% of the height is decreased. And now if I say height would be 400, the thing below, the space that is below of the my pass logo will get increased. And when I say again a height would be of 200, let's stop that and run that again. And now it would be appropriate to us. So the next thing we'll be doing is just to configuration this logo. What height did we give, what width did we give, what is the padding that we gave over here, everything on that. So if I just give padding of 2020 on X and Y, actually I have to give padding of X and Y because yeah, this need to be our actual image and window. But I'm thinking of the future case. In the future case, we have to increase in the pad X and pad Y to get more space for even elements and grid layout also. So in that purpose, I have just kept it to 50. So you don't change it to 20, but just keep it at 50 itself. I'm just showing this to explain you. That's it. Even if you increase this, you'll get that. But the configuration of the element would be same. I'll show you. Okay. So this is our first step. So now let us take a look at on grid and tabular format. So this is some type of complex, but it's very simple and easy also. So I've just took the UI of the finished product and I've just made a tabular, grid format to that. So if you carefully observe this one, these two rows, the generate button is in separate row and this password input button, the space is in another row and column. but we'll be using some elements to move this one to here so that they'll be together. Okay, 1 second. So the next thing I want you to remember about that is there's the row 0 and a column 0. This is column, okay, this is column 1. Okay, row will be in here, row 0, column 0, and row 0, column 1, and this one would be row 0, column 2. Okay, everything starts from 0. And 1 second. So that will continue. If you want, I'll write everything. You can just fast forward the video. So this one would be row 1, column 0, row 2, column 0, row 3, column 0, and this one would be row 4, column 0. Okay, the next one, this one would be row 1, column 1. Most of the people will get confused with this and mess up their UI. Okay, so this is the major UI to remember. So that's why I'm taking more time on writing each and every column and row representation for you. This is row 2, column 1. This would be row 3 with column 1. And this would be row 4 with column 1. Okay, it's row 4. And this one would be column 2. So everything in the left side, I mean the right side would be 2, and in the left side it will go in the ascending order from 0 to 4. So 1 comma 2, row 1 comma column 2, row 2 comma column 2. If you have a diagram, I mean a rough paper beside you and have a diagram in it, you can just do that in seconds. But if you will you'll try to visualize and do that, it might take some of few minutes or seconds depending upon the people they think, because it's not that easy to remember the positions of each row and column that accurately. You have to place logo in row 0 on column 1, website URL in row 1 and column 0. So if you have diagram, it would be more easier. Even the diagram need to be having all the indexes of each and every box. So these are the indexes for grid format. So this is a grid format. I've indexed each and everything. So now it will be easier for you. It will be easier for you to even write the code and do everything. So let me just take a screenshot of this. So let's place this beside of us and start coding from the grid to form the grid format. Moving on to the next one, we have to convert this package into a grid. So by converting into a grid, it will identify that we are giving some tabular format. Row will be 0, column will be 1. So let's run this first. I hope everything is fine. And one more thing, yesterday we have forgot to change this one. Now let's run that. Yeah, looks perfect. The next thing, now just follow me. So first let's create a website label. So this is just a variable, not a class. And now this is a class in label text equal to, and we have to insert this in a grid, right? Website label dot grid. So in grid, I'll just bring up the grid for you. So here is the grid. You can just say it's of this is the row and this is the column, right? Row 1 and column 0. That's great. Row is equal to 1, column is equal to 0. The count starts from 0, so that's why we've kept that like that. And now email label is just a variable, and label of text will be what's your email. In the next thing, let's minimize that. Yeah, in the next thing we have to insert it in a grid. In the grid one, I'll just bring up that again. So that's row 2 column 0. Row 2 column 0. Look at the spellings correctly, guys, because most of you will confuse with column spelling. If you won't confuse, that's great. So password label will be of label in that text would be password and the next one password label dot password label dot grid. And now in this you can see the password label is in row 3 column 0, so it will be on row is equal to 3 and column is equal to 0. That's it. Now if we take a look at the output, we've got successfully website, email and password. That's really great. The next thing we have to do is to keep entry label, the input one. We have to keep that also, the input one. For the input one, I'm just making a section like entries. Okay, entries. So in the entries one, first let's go to website entry, and in this, so we'll be using this entry one, and in here we have to mention its width. I am gonna give width equal to 53. So width and all of those changes from one OS to another OS. So in Apple it will be different, and in Windows it will be different, in Linux it will be different. I'm mentioning these three only, but I think most of the people will use these three only. So that's why the width will be changing. So you can change the width as you want. So Windows guys, you can just follow me. I hope 70%, 75% of the members are using Windows. Now let's insert this into the grid. You can see the website URL entry is in row 1 and column 1. Row 1 and column 1. And in here I'm going to give you a new this one, that is a column span. Column span would be 2. Okay, Okay, not website entry. Now let's create. Wait, let's test that once. Mm-hmm. That's fine. That's really fine. And the next thing, email. Email entry would be same. This width would be also 53. Okay. And the next thing, email entry again with a grid. You can just say that row 2 column 1, but let's see. Yeah, row 2 column 1. And column 1. In here also I'm going to give a column span, that is also 2. And in the next thing, password entry is equal to entry inside this width would be 36. And the next thing, password entry dot, we have to insert it in a grid, and this would be row 3 column 1. Column 1. If I'm not wrong, let's verify that. Yeah, you can just verify that everything, row 3 column 1, row 3 column 1. And now let's run it. Yeah, everything looks good. In the next thing, we have to give button over here also, so that's why I've just given a width of 36. In the next one, buttons. So in here we are going to first create generate password button, generate password button. And in generate password button, we are going to give it a class of button, and in that text is equal to, text would be generate okay, one second, generate password. I'm gonna give it a width of 14, and command. Okay, now only I'll not use command, but yeah, let's give it. It'll be useful in the future. I'll just say you what's the use. So when you are clicking this command, one second, there's an error over here. Let's correct it. Yeah, we did not give it a command in the upper section. Okay, let's now delete it for a few steps. After that, let's give it a command, because we did not give it a command in the upper section, like in the password generator section, so that's why it's giving us a red mark, but that's fine. Let's give it in the later one. I thought it would be useful for the future, this one. So now we have to insert it in a grid. So now look at this carefully. I'm going to give it a row of 3 and COLUM, a column of 2. Row of 3 and column of 2. Now let's run that. So they are in the same one, but the width must be increased by 1 or 2. Password entry width be increased by just 35. Yeah, now it's perfect to the UI, user interface. In the next thing, I'm just testing 1 second. Okay, the UI is perfect according to me. And the next thing we are going to do is that, yep, I think now it's in the center, 125. Let's give it a filling of 125. Yeah, I hope that's in the center now. But that changes from OS to OS. Okay, you have to test it by like methods. I mean, you have to test it by increasing the value or decreasing the value, and you have to do that several times to get the correct one. So beginners and who are there like that now only started Python like that. So I hope like it's like a complex video for you, like all rocket science should be there over here, because you won't understand anything of this. You'll only understand the keywords I'm using because they are in English. You can understand the language, but you can't understand the command it does. So that's why just you can, if you want the password generator for your laptop or PC, you can just go with this. But if you see all of my videos in Python playlist, then future videos will be releasing. After watching all of them, then you will understand all of this. Then you can come back and watch this all. Column would be 1. Column span again would be 2. Okay, first let's test it. Yeah, for me it's perfect. If you want, you can just increase the add button size. But now if you take a look, I'm just typing everything in website and I'm typing everything in email, like at the email.com. So it won't just recognize anything. And password like that. So if you even click generate password, it does nothing. And even if you click add button, it does nothing, right? So what to do to just add it some behavior? So now we've completed the HTML and CSS for it. Like to say it in a web development language, we've completed HTML and CSS, but we did not complete JavaScript. So JavaScript is nothing but adding behavior. So we are going to add the behavior in the password generator section. So in the password generator section, we are going to add that behavior. Before doing that, I want you to import some modules. So from tk inter, you have to import message box. So message box won't come with this star one because it's not a class. So that's why you have to import it again. And you have to even import random module. Yeah. And you have to import paperclip. There you go. So now the next thing I want you to do is, now let's generate the password. So to generate the password, we need some characters, letters, numbers, and symbols. So for all those, I've just given you a finished code file also in the description. So before only you shouldn't see that because that's wrong. So seeing that and just executing it and just using it is filthy. So in the first, just we'll make the use of it. We'll make the complete use of it. So just copy the letters, numbers, and symbols. That's it. And now let's define the generate password. So generate password variable is there now. So now let's define it. And now let's paste that and everything goes fine. And now let's start coding. So this is a variable, and for this variable I'm just giving a random dot random it, and an or of symbols, sorry, just copy that random dot random, man, n of nr letters and symbols completed. Now numbers, nr of numbers, and in numbers I'm going to give that to again. Yeah, 1 second. And the next thing, password letters, we are going to write like random choice. Okay, there's a typo. Random choice of letters. So it just picks a random choice for letters for and range. So there's a range of NR letters. That's the range where I gave 8 and 10 to 4 to 4. Okay. So you must be wondering what did I give there. So letters and letters that need to be matching. Okay, I've did a mistake. This must be squared brackets. So that's a list. That's why. Password numbers. Password numbers would be random choice of numbers and for n of a range, that's a for loop, and out of numbers. I hope that was clear. And the next thing, password symbols, and in here I'm not sure I saw symbols. Okay, 1 second. Yeah, just it was a typo. And range of NR of symbols. 1 second. Yep. Okay. 1 second, guys. There's some typo in that. I'll just copy and paste that NR symbols. Yep. Now it's correct. And the next thing we have to do, now we've given it a behavior. I mean, just the codes. I mean, password letters, password numbers, password symbols are defined, and everything is defined successfully. So now we have to do like the real behavior starts now. So I'm just combining these three: password letters, password numbers, password symbols into a single list. So you might have watched the list one. So if you did not watch that, please go ahead and watch about list. So you'll just clearly understand what I'm doing in here right now. So now let me just add all those password letters plus of password numbers. See, when it is used, it will just come in white, and when it is not used, it will be in gray color. Even you can see random module is used, that's why it's in white color. And paperclip, message box are not used, so that's why they are in gray color. And afterwards, if we'll also use password symbols, that will come into white color. See, now it's in white color. Now we've just formed a big set, I mean list, random. Again, I'm using random dot shuffle one, so I'm just shuffling it. Okay. In the shuffle one, I'll just shuffle password list. So now we've shuffled password list. So password list is nothing but all of these variables. After doing that, now again, password is equal to, we've already defined password, right? We've already defined it. Okay, sorry, now we are defining it. I'm sorry. Let me join it to the password list. Now we've defined what is a password, and now password entry would be defined. Now the password entry will be defining, like not defining, 1 second. And in that, let's insert thing we've done, and password. So that 0 was an index. Okay, that 0 was an index. The next thing, paperclip dot copy. We have to copy it to the clipboard. So when we will just generate the password, so immediately it should be copied, so that we don't be we won't be having any external work to do, so to copy that. So for that, we'll be using paperclip. So it just copies it to the clipboard very easily. So by using paperclip, let's copy that and what we'll be copying is the password which we have generated. That's it. Now let's run this. If we click on generate password, okay, nothing has been generated, but okay, 1 second. Okay, so it wasn't generating the password, right? Yeah, it's not generating the password. Let me check what's the error is. Yeah, in the starting I've told you to give a command. I mean, I was giving a command, right? So the command was generate password, and if we give the command, now it will run. See, the password has been generated. You can click how many times you want, and when the passwords got generated, just okay, that's read only. See, the first one will be copied automatically. You can see I'll just highlight it. Yeah, see, okay. The next thing, we did import a message box, but you and I don't know what's it for, right? So now let's define it, and the last thing we are going to do is to create a file so that where we could just save all the website name, password name, and email. So for that, let's start. So now I'm going to say define of save website is website entry.get. Website entry, it will get the data from that. And the next thing, email 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 entry dot get. Remember the indentation of definition, guys. It's very, very important. You can see the indentation over here from website to the margin. And the next one, password equal to password entry dot get. That's it. So now these three are completed. And the next thing, let's go for a if statement. If see, some people, they'll just spam over that and they'll just play, but that's not appropriate. So if they didn't, I mean, they did not enter, like 0 characters are present in the what you can see, the website and the password. So if the length of the website and password is 0, then we can also say that we can just give an alert or an error to show, oops, please make sure that each and every field is filled up. So now I'm doing that. If you want, you can do this, or else you can just leave it. But this is must and should. Website is equal to, the length of the website is equal to 0, or length of the password is equal to 0. So that's the is equal to symbol in Python. So if you just mention as 1 is equal to, it will just assign the variable. Okay, let's define that. 1 second, there's an indentation error over here. There's again error. Okay, we did not write anything over here. Message box and not show info. So yeah, this is a message box, like a pop-up. So in the Windows, it will be different, and in the iOS, it will be different. And in Linux also, it will be different. I mean, Linux will be having different commands, or else okay, it will follow Python also in the terminal, I think. Or you can just install Kali Linux in I mean, Chichi. You can just install PyCharm in Kali Linux or Linux. So this string formatting method which I'm using over here. So this F mentions that only. These, okay. One second, I'm just entering the wrong one. Please make sure that each and every field is filled up with the exclamatory mark. Yeah. And the next thing, we've just showed a pop-up where it just shows if you just leave it empty, it just gives you an alert, kind of alert. And the next thing, follow with me. So there's a confirmation box where you'll be getting a box of confirmation to save the given data or not. So title would be the website. The website name would be Windows title, and the message would be, so here I have to use that. The message would be, these are the details entered. Let's give it a line break and email. One second, sorry for the disturbance. Yeah. And again a line break. Okay, I've just entered the symbol wrong. That's why it's not showing me the color. And again the line break, it'll just show me the password. So there is no need to hide the password because only you will be seeing that. Or else you can just hide it. Yep, that's done. Next thing, if is okay, it's a variable. If is okay, with open. So now we are entering into files Python. So I'll be releasing files on Python soon. It will also include this topic. So this it'll write the file and it will also create a new file. Okay. And the next thing, data dot file. Okay. Write f of website, f of website, and okay. Email, and it will be also writing password. password. After that, we'll just break the line. And in here, website entry dot delete. There are 35 errors in my file. I I think I've just made a small mistake somewhere. Okay. Password entry is already there over here. Let's see. Password entry and in the password entry we'll be just writing we'll be just deleting. I'll just explain this later, but just listen. Yeah, so let's read this again from if statement, because from if statement only the errors have been started. So with open data text, that's it. In here I have to just write as data and data file, and then if you give like that, now every error would be deleted, I think. Yeah, now my errors are deleted successfully, and the next thing we have to do is to run this. Let's run this. Now if we click on generate password, it's working. That's great. Let's delete everything in generate password, password section. In website and email, so email, everyone will be having one or two emails. If they are having three, they are intellects. So I think most of the 40% of the people will be having only one email ID. So for them, I'll be just giving a trick so that it will just auto fill up the email section so that you won't be filling it again and again and again. So for that, you have to go to email entry dot the here, and in here just type this one. Okay, email entry dot insert, and in insert just 0 comma. I'm just giving an example. I'm not typing my email ID. My example at the rate gmail.com. That's it. So every time you go there, it will just automatically fills up the email section, as you can see over here. Or else you can, if your email is changed, you can change it over here also. And the next thing, if we run this and if we just click add, it doesn't do anything, because in the button section, so we've just gave a command generate password where we defined the generate password over here, but we did not give a command to button. So to do that, just type command, and in here save. So that command will execute the process. And now if we run it, and let's type my website equal to Amazon, and password would be a generated password, and password will be successfully copied to clipboard. I'll just Yeah, the password is copied. And now if we'll add it, see, these are the details entered for Amazon, email and the password. So, oh wait a second, bound method entry get of tick into checked. Okay, just ignore it. That was my example, right? So that's why. Okay, if we click OK, everything will be deleted automatically over here. And I hope we'll be getting a text file. Yeah, data.txt. Just double click on it and everything will be over here. Bound method entry.get tk enter tree object. Okay, 1 second. I think there's a mistake. So yeah, in here we are, in here we are getting a bound method like that, but because we just did a minor mistake over here, and now if we run it and if we just type anything in website like Amazon, and the password would be a generated password, secured one. And now if you add it, see, these are the details entered: email myexample@gmail.com, and password is a random generated password. Now if you click OK, and everything will be deleted automatically over here except email, and if you close it, go to your data.txt, everything will be entered automatically in the data.txt, and that will be in your folder. So if you go to desktop and Virtuoso project 1, in here data.txt will be there over here. So you can just open it and a notepad will come. And if you do the changes in here, one second, even these changes will be done without saving, pressing Control S. If you now again go there in the data one, see, so that's PyCharm. Now every single error is corrected and everything is done. So now let's try this password generator once more for me and the final time. So now this is my built-in my password app where I can just generate a secured password and enter my email and given password and for the related website directly without just typing and wasting my time into a data.txt file. So now I'm just clicking on generate password. Now if I leave the website section empty, let's see what happens. Let's click add. Please make sure that each and every field is filled up. So that's an message. Okay, cancel. And so this is our project 1 in Virtuoso Bootcamp. And in the second project, I'll be back with one more interesting and useful project. Okay then, until then, signing off.